The dog disappeared for 3 days, and when he came back, he brought something that changed everything. Wait, you need to hear this before scrolling away. If you have a pet or know someone who does, this story will touch your heart in a way you never imagined. In the next few minutes, you'll discover what a loyal dog brought back after mysteriously vanishing. And I guarantee, you won't believe how this story ends. Before we start, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notification bells because I share emotional stories like this every week, and you won't want to miss a single one. The family living in peace. It all started in a small town in the countryside where the Morrison family lived. Sarah and John Morrison had 2 young children, Emma, who was 7, and Lucas, who was 5. Their life was simple but full of love. And at the center of this family was Max, a 4-year-old golden retriever who was so much more than just a pet. Max was a family member. He slept beside the children's beds, protected the house with his gentle presence, and was always there for the most important moments. Birthdays, dinners, Sunday afternoons, Max was there, with his canine smile and that look that seemed to understand everything. But then something happened that nobody expected: the mysterious disappearance. It was an ordinary Tuesday. Sarah opened the back door in the morning to let Max out into the fenced backyard, just like she did every day. She went to prepare breakfast, and when she returned 15 minutes later, Max was gone. The gate was closed. The fence was intact. There were no holes dug, no signs of break-in. It was as if Max had simply evaporated. Sarah felt her heart racing. She called out, "Max! Max, come here, boy!" Nothing. Just silence. If you've ever lost a pet, hit that like button now because you know exactly the feeling of desperation that comes next. The entire family panicked. John rushed home from work. The children started crying inconsolably. They searched the entire neighborhood, knocked on every door, put up posters all over town with Max's photo and a promise of a reward. But Max didn't appear. Days of anguish. The first day without Max was torturous. Emma couldn't sleep, clutching the dog's favorite toy. Lucas kept looking out the window, hoping to see that golden figure running through the yard. Sarah and John took turns searching. They drove for hours, explored trails in the nearby forest, visited animal shelters, posted in lost pet groups on social media. Every notification on the phone brought hope, but it was always a false alarm. And here's the detail nobody understood. There were no footprints, no witnesses. Max had simply vanished into thin air. The second day was even worse. Hope began to fade. Dark thoughts invaded Sarah's mind. What if he stole him? What if he's hurt somewhere? What if we never see him again? On the third day, the Morrison family was devastated. The children barely ate. The house felt empty even though everyone was there. That warm presence, that unconditional love that Max brought, all of it had disappeared. John was about to call more shelters when they heard something. Knock, knock, knock. 3 knocks on the front door. Sarah ran to the entrance, her heart pounding. She opened the door, and tears instantly began rolling down her face. There was Max, but he wasn't alone. Wait, before I reveal what Max brought back, tell me in the comments, what do you think he was carrying? Leave your theory below because the answers will surprise you. Max was there, his fur dirty with mud, small scratches on his paws, clearly exhausted, but with his eyes shining. And beside him, a tiny baby. It wasn't a puppy, it was a baby deer. The truth behind the mission. Sarah stood frozen, trying to understand the scene. Max barked softly, looking at her, and then at the small deer, which was trembling and appeared to be only a few days old. John came running and was speechless. The children appeared behind him, and Emma whispered, "Daddy, did Max bring a friend?" They quickly realized the fawn was injured in its back leg and extremely weak. Max positioned himself protectively beside the animal, as if saying, "I'm not going to abandon him." And then the truth emerged gradually. In the following 3 days, while caring for the baby deer, which Emma named Willow, the family began piecing together the puzzle. A neighbor who lived near the forest said he saw Max running toward the trees on the day of the disappearance, as if following something.
A forest ranger visited the family when he heard the story and explained, "There was an accident in the forest 3 days ago. A doe was hit by a car on the side road. She must have left this fawn orphaned." Max had heard or sensed something. His protective instinct, that same instinct that made him sleep beside the children, that made him bark when strangers approached, led him on an impossible mission. The inexplicable connection. For 3 days, Max stayed in the forest caring for that orphaned fawn. He kept it warm, protected from predators, and when he realized the little deer was getting too weak, Max made the most incredible decision: bring the fawn home. If this story is touching your heart, hit that like button now and share it with someone who needs to see this. How did Max manage to guide a frightened baby deer for miles? How did he know he needed to bring the animal to his family? Veterinarians and animal behavior specialists who later analyzed the case were fascinated. Dogs have an extraordinary capacity for empathy, explained Dr. Rachel Chen, a behavioral veterinarian. But what Max did goes beyond that. He identified a need, acted on it, and then sought human help. This demonstrates a level of reasoning and compassion we rarely document. The bond that unites all species. For 3 days, Max stayed in the forest caring for that orphaned fawn. He kept it warm, protected from predators, and when he realized the little deer was getting too weak, Max made the most incredible decision: bring the fawn home. If this story is touching your heart, hit that like button now and share it with someone who needs to see this. How did Max manage to guide a frightened baby deer for miles? How did he know he needed to bring the animal to his family? Veterinarians and animal behavior specialists who later analyzed the case were fascinated. Dogs have an extraordinary capacity for empathy, explained Dr. Rachel Chen, a behavioral veterinarian. But what Max did goes beyond that. He identified a need, acted on it, and then sought human help. This demonstrates a level of reasoning and compassion we rarely document. The bond that unites all species. The Morrison family kept Willow at home for 2 weeks while the fawn recovered under veterinary supervision. Max wouldn't leave his side. He licked the small deer, slept next to him to keep him warm, and even tried to share his food. Emma and Lucas learned lessons about compassion that no book could teach. They saw with their own eyes what it means to care for someone in need without expecting anything in return. When Willow was strong enough, the family worked with the Forest Service to release him into a protected area where he could grow up with other deer. It was a bittersweet moment, but necessary. And here's the most exciting detail. In the following months, forest rangers reported sightings of a young deer that approached the edge of the forest near the Morrison house. A deer that wasn't afraid of a certain golden retriever who sometimes waited there. What we learned from Max. This true story teaches us something profound about our pets. They're not just companions, they are beings with an extraordinary capacity for love, empathy, and heroism. Max risked his own safety, spent 3 days away from the comfort of his home, all to save a life. He didn't do it for a reward, for recognition, or for food. He did it because in his canine heart there was something we humans sometimes forget: universal compassion. How many times do we pass by someone who needs help and look away? How many times do we ignore suffering because it's not our problem? Max reminds us that caring for each other, whether human, animal, or any living being, is what makes us truly special. Your story matters. Now, I want to hear from you. Has your pet ever done something extraordinary? Have you witnessed a moment of pure animal compassion? Leave your story in the comments below. I'll read every single one, and the best ones might appear in upcoming videos. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories. Turn on the bell to be notified whenever I post, and share this video with everyone who loves animals. Leave your like if this story touched your heart. Max's story reminds us that in an increasingly cold and divided world, pure goodness still exists. It exists in the gaze of a dog, in the purr of a cat, in the silent but powerful bond we share with our pets. So answer me, what has your pet taught you about unconditional love? I'm waiting for your answer in the comments. Let's create a chain of positive stories that show the best side of the connection between humans and animals. See you in the next video, and remember, sometimes the greatest heroes have 4 paws and a giant heart. Big hugs, and see you next time.